Okay, class, we're on section 3.6, fractions and problem solving. Now, on section A, we have solving problems containing fractions or mixed numbers. Recall the following problem solving steps introduced in section 1.8 as well as the key words needed to solve these word problems. Okay, the first thing we need to do is understand the problem. Some ways of doing this are to read and reread the problem, construct a drawing, and look for keywords to identify an operation. Like for instance, we know the word sum just basically means addition. So when you see the word sum, you know you're going to add. Okay, 2, translate the problem. That is, write the problem in short form using words and then translate to numbers and symbols. Number 3, solve the problem. It is helpful to estimate the solution by rounding, then carry out the indicated operation from step 2. You don't necessarily have to estimate it, but it's just good that you all know how to use the operations to solve the problem. Now, number 4, after you get your answer, you need to interpret the results. Check the proposed solution, the stated problem, and state your conclusions. Write your results with the correct units attached. Now, let's go down here. We have a couple key words here. Like we said, sum means addition, plus, and so on. Now, again, remember, you can read this at your leisure. It's in your course pack. And these are some of the key words you need to follow. Okay, now we scroll down here to the next page. Now, we have a quick helpful hint for perimeter, area, and volume. Okay, perimeter measures the distance around a figure. It is measured in units. Area measures the amount of surface of a figure. It is measured in square units. For example, when it says units, let's say your perimeter is dealing in feet. So your final answer will have feet at the end of it. That's the units. Now when they say square units here, let's just say everything is in feet. But your final answer would be square feet. That's what they mean by square units. Now volume measures the amount of space and enclosed by a region. It is measured in cubic units. So let's say everything was feet. Your final answer will have feet cubed. So that's what it means by cubic units. So if it's meters, it'll be meters cubed, and so on. Now we look here at number 1. It says find the volume of a box that measures 4 1/3 feet by 1.5 feet by 3 1/3 feet. Okay, first of all, we got to understand the problem. We understand the problem to mean that they want us to find the volume. Okay, now, in order for us to find the volume, we need the volume formula in order for us to find the volume. Now, we do have the volume formula here. We have length times width times height. That is the volume formula of this rectangular prism here. Okay, so now this is what we would do. We would take our volume, which is V, and it's equal to, let me give a little bit more space here. Now our length is 4 1/3. Our width is 1 1/2. And our height is 3 1/3. Now, what we have to do here, we have to change these mixed numbers to improper fractions. Now, our denominators for each one of these mixed numbers will stay the same as it was originally. So the first mixed number, when we change it to an improper fraction, the denominator will remain 3. The second mixed number, the denominator will remain 2. And the last mixed number, the denominator will remain 3. So to find this numerator, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Here we take 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Now, what we want to do is this here. To try and avoid sometimes having a larger number that we have to simplify later, why not simplify these numbers here so that we could have an easy way of simplifying. So 13 is prime, 3 is prime. 10 prime factorization is 2 times 5. Now we go down here to our denominator. We have 3 times 2 times 3, because all 3 of these numbers here are all prime. So we could factor out one set of 3's and one set of 2's. 13 times 5 is 65, all over 3. Now, we could take 3 into 65. 3 goes into 6 twice. 2 times 3 is 6. We have 5 left. 3 goes into 5 one time. Subtract 3, and we have a remainder of 2. So our final answer would be 21 would be our integer. Our denominator of our fraction will remain 3, and our numerator will be the remainder, which is 2. Now remember, since we're dealing with volume, we have to put down our units as cubic units. So this feet will become feet cubed. So this is our final answer, 21 2/3 feet cubed. And that is it. Now we go here to problem number 2. It says, suppose that 25 acres of land are purchased, but because of roads and wetland concerns, 6 2/3 acres cannot be developed into lots. How many 5/6 acre lots can the rest of the land be divided into? Now, first of all, we start off with 25 acres. We don't have to write the acres now. We start off with 25 acres. But they tell us because of roads and wetland concerns, 6 2/3 acres cannot be developed into lots. But we want to know how many lots we can develop. So first we need to subtract off what we cannot develop. So now we add 25 minus 6 2/3. So what we do here first, in order to subtract this integer minus a mixed number, we have to borrow 1 from this integer. So 25 will become 24, and we look at the denominator of the other fraction, and that 1 we borrow will become 3 over 3. And that's minus 6 2/3. 3/3 minus 2/3 is 1/3. And 24 minus 6 is 18. So now we have 18 1/3 acres that can be developed. So now we would take that value, which is 18 1/3, and divide it by 5/6. Now, we need to change this 18 1/3 into an improper fraction. 18 times 3 is 54, plus 1 is 55. So this would be 55 over 3 divided by 5/6. So it'll be 55 over 3 times 6 over 5. Now again, let's do our prime factorization here. The prime factorization of 55, we can go off to the side here and take 55. It breaks up into 5 times 11. So we will have 5 times 11. And we already know the prime factorization of 6 is 2 times 3. Now in our denominator, 3 is already prime and 5 is already prime, so we carry those over. So we simplify out what they have in common. They have a set of 3's in common, and they have a set of 5's in common. So those simplify out. So now we will have 11 times 2, which is 22. And since everything's simplified in our denominator, that would be 1. So 22 divided by 1 is 22. And they ask us how many 5/6 acre lots can the rest of the land be divided into. So our answer is 22. But we could say here, we can have 22 lots developed. That will be the final answer.